Steamroll, chewing gum brings out the best in everyone. I didn't even charge them for that line. So in everything you do, Steamroll brings out the best in you. I didn't get a job for 2 years after that. I was banned from the advertising agency. But then a couple of years later, John Singleton had started a company in Melbourne. I didn't know him, but the company was called Spasm, which is like they were all in spasm after lunch every day, these people in those days. It was a similar thing. They couldn't get anybody else. No one else was available. And the creative director called me and he said, no one else is available, so we sort of stuck with you. We've got a client that makes work clothes. And he said, you got any ideas? And I said, well, no, have you got any ideas? He said, no, that's your job. So I come up with this idea of these blokes on a railway donkey, and this is all I wrote, and it's still on air 7 years later. And it led to a wonderful relationship with the Laidlaw family, who manufactured up this way for a long time, and I have to say they're a fantastic family. And when they eventually sold their company, not that many years ago, they actually sent me a thank you check for the work and what this had done for them, which was a wonderful thing to do. Hard yakka, how easy is this? Hard yakka, I landed on my feet. Hard yakka, hard yakka, hard yakka, hard yakka, hard yakka, hard yakka. I mean, that's easy. And it opened every door in Australia, Sydney and Singapore and Hong Kong. Oh, we want that bloke that wrote that hard yakka thing. I mean, little did they know I'd pinched it anyway. It's very similar to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, isn't it? When you think about it. But no, I didn't really pinch it. And I opened all the doors, and it led to things like, well, you'd know a lot of these things. I'm lucky. Oh, I'm lucky. There's a lot of bad luck going round. I'm lucky. I'm with Amy. Lucky. You're with Amy. And that is still there now. It's 30-something years later. But there were plenty of them, and I always thought there'd be a statue of me in Shepparton one day before Coca-Cola took over, because I wrote this. We're SPC baked beans and spaghetti. I've been waiting to start all day. Our SPC baked beans are delicious. Spaghetti tastes as good, they say. We just croon along and sing along all day. Or so it seems, because we're SPC. I mean, imagine being paid for writing this bullshit. Because we're SPC baked beans and spaghetti for the little human beings. And the reason I did that bit was because the trumpeter didn't turn up. He actually didn't turn up. You'll never take a step back. Oh, I had this. We are SPC baked beans and spaghetti, which is very much like dono, internet that flies. So I sort of plagiarise myself now. Anyway, that's a little bit of a selection. My favourite jingle, though, was for the Australian Armed Forces, for the Navy. And I went to Canberra, and I met with these very serious young insects in their white summer uniforms, and we sat at a long table, and the conversation went like, we want something for the Navy. Recruitment is a little bit down this year, and therefore we need something that will attract people to the Navy. So they gave me a ride on a frigate. I went out overnight. I went in a Mackie jet, which was amazing. I had to go through a course to learn how to wear the flight suit and how to eject if we hit any birds, which we did. We hit 2 birds and then we broke the wing off, but we got down. We got down under our own power, which was amazing. So I went back and I said, look, I've got something for you for the Navy. It's very honest. Oh, we like honest. No, it's very, very honest. No, honesty is good in the Navy. So this is what I wrote, and it says a lot about Australia, I reckon. So you see if you can find the honesty line in this. In the days when our Navy was young and the ship was the pride of the fleet, you'd gaze out at her and wonder, make an old sailor's heart skip a beat. The ships have gone through some changes, the roles have changed a bit too. be wet, you'll be homesick and frightened, but the pride of the fleet will be you. You'll be wet, you'll be homesick and frightened, but the pride of the fleet will be you. Oh yes, we want that, they said. You'll be wet, homesick and frightened. And you know, it was the most successful military recruiting campaign in Australia's history, which says a lot about the Australian psyche, don't you reckon? Like, well, where do I go to be, what is it again? I want to be wet, homesick and frightened. Well, follow the queue over that way. People were lining up and they had to take them off air because they were getting too many people. But of course, you know, some jingles are bigger than others, and I'll get to up there, Kazali, but probably not right now. I want to play a little song. I had a terrible relationship with my father. I left home at 15 after we had a physical altercation. I didn't see him until probably a week or so before he died suddenly. He was